Just days into the new financial year, Labour's biggest tax plan is already blowing up in their faces, and it's hitting Britain's most vulnerable right where it hurts. A political storm is gathering in Westminster, and it's moving fast. Chancellor Rachel Reeves' flagship tax policy, designed to pump money into public services, is now under siege. And here's the shocker. It's the care sector that's taking the hit, hard. We're talking about a system that supports our elderly, disabled, and most vulnerable citizens, and right now, it's on the brink. Insiders are sounding the alarm, legal action is kicking off, and critics are asking a brutal question. Is Labour's plan already starting to unravel? Let's break it down. At the heart of the chaos is Labour's move to increase national insurance contributions, NICs, for employers. The idea? Raise funds to rebuild the NHS and public services. Sounds reasonable, right? But there's a catch, and it's a big one. Private care homes, already struggling to keep the lights on, weren't given any protection from this hike. And now, they say the added costs could push them over the edge. We're talking nearly £1 billion added to their bills every year, £940 million, to be exact, according to the Nuffield Trust. And the care sector isn't staying quiet. Care England, the main voice for private care homes in the UK, has just launched a judicial review. Yep, they're taking the government to court. Professor Martin Green, their chief exec, didn't mince his words. He called it a critical moment for adult social care, and slammed the policy as yet another example of the government treating care as an afterthought. But this goes deeper than just one policy. Green points to a long-standing divide between the NHS and social care, one that's been worsened by bad laws, underfunding, and years of neglect. His warning: if social care collapses, the NHS won't be far behind. And he's not alone in that fear. With smaller care homes facing possible closure, where do their patients go? Straight back into the NHS, a system already drowning in record wait times and staff shortages. Even NHS insiders are getting nervous. Julian Kelly, the chief financial officer for NHS England, is reportedly worried that Labour's tax changes could wipe out a big chunk of the £10.6 billion boost promised to the NHS last October. That's money that was meant to hire nurses, fund emergency services, and improve GP access, now possibly being clawed back to pay for these tax hikes. Shadow Health Secretary Edward Argar didn't hold back either. He accused Labour of robbing Peter to pay Paul, saying, "What they give with one hand, they take with the other." And the shockwaves don't stop at the NHS. Hospices, charities, and care organisations across the UK are stuck in the same impossible position: either slash services to pay the new tax, or cut back on staff and patient care just to survive. Green says millions are already feeling the impact. His message to government: we're standing up for a sector that holds the entire health system together, and you're pushing it to the edge. So, what happens next? This legal challenge could drag Labour into a very public courtroom battle, one that lands just as they're trying to prove they're the party of competence, compassion, and economic responsibility. If the court sides with the care sector, it could force Reeves to rethink how tax policies are rolled out, especially for critical services like social care. But even if the legal challenge fails, the political damage might already be done. Critics are saying Labour is falling into the same traps they once campaigned against, taxing the very institutions that hold Britain together, all while claiming to fix the system. And if that wasn't enough drama, Labour's also facing a fresh global crisis. Across the Atlantic, President Donald Trump has dropped a tariff bombshell, and it's already hitting British business hard. Jaguar Land Rover has halted all exports to the US, and Barclays has slashed its UK growth forecast. Why? Because Trump just slapped a 25% tariff on British car imports, and a 10% tariff on British goods overall. That's devastating for an industry that supports over 800,000 UK jobs. Prime Minister Starmer is now scrambling to calm the storm. He's promising emergency measures to protect British industries and support struggling businesses. In a bold move, he's even backing state intervention to soften the blow, a major shift from old-school free market thinking. Starmer says we can't cling to outdated ideas when the world's changing this fast. Expect announcements this week on easing electric vehicle targets, cutting red tape, and offering targeted tax breaks. And in a twist that's turning heads, Elon Musk has suggested a zero-tariff transatlantic trade zone between the US and Europe. Could that be a lifeline? For now, Downing Street's drawn up a 417-page hit list of US goods it could slap with retaliatory tariffs, everything from Harley-Davidsons to bourbon. But Starmer says he'll tread carefully to avoid hurting British businesses any further. He's clear, we'll do whatever it takes to protect Britain's national interest. So what do you think? Is Labour's big tax gamble already backfiring? Should care providers have been protected? And what's your take on the UK's next move in this growing trade war? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. Don't forget to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on what's really going on in Britain. Until next time, take care and stay informed.